Abraham Kuyper himself was not just a man who reflects on the world, but he was also an activist. And I must say I am really very indebted to him. I could say he's my hero because of that. Some people say you ever reflect on reality or do things. And I would say that's true for various people, various gifted Christians. They are either more into reflecting on the reality, some are more into acting on the basis of the reflection of others. But for Abraham Kuyper, he was, I've never seen him, but that's at least my imagination. I would say he was the guy who really wanted to do both. So he needed his reflection to act wisely, to act properly, to act in a Christian way. So he's got this desire to be rooted in his action, in his theology, in his understanding of God's ways. And now the question, of course, is when you really, and one more thing maybe, he was very comprehensive thinker. And I think the problem we have today is that we are more like just trying to find advice here and there. So we are less organized, less comprehensive, less systematic. We even sometimes are against right now such concept like having a systematic worldview. And I could agree we will never have fully comprehensive worldview, which is impossible for, at least from my perspective, for Christian to have, although this is our desire. It's like sanctification. We desire sanctification. We desire to be blameless, even as we are not able to do it. So the same is with the comprehensiveness of our worldview. And now for Kuyper, he said that we have to start somewhere. We have to start somewhere. And he said, he compared Calvin and he compared Luther. And he said Luther started with his own anxiety, with his own angst, with his own sin, with his own questions to God, with his own place. So it was very individual starting point. And he developed, because of that, all concept of justification by faith, and he was very much focused on the individual soteriology. But he said, well, that's brave. That was very brave for his time. But to really construct the holistic Christian concept of reality, we have to start somewhere else. And his point was we have to start, and this is what we see in Reformed tradition, we have to start in sovereignty of God. Why? Because sovereignty of God is the concept that really shapes all aspects of reality. It's not just me and my relation to God, but it's the relation of God to any aspect of our reality that we could be engaged in. So that would be the first thing, that sovereignty of God is the starting point. It covers all aspects of our life, and also I would say it demands from us, if we really believe that God is sovereign, it demands, Kuyper would say, from us to subdue every aspect of our existence, of our reflection, of our dealing with the world, our doing things to Christ. And that's a very brave statement, I would say, because most of evangelicals today, they would say God is against politics, God is against business. I mean, maybe not as often because we need money, so we bless businessmen in our churches. We are practical enough to realize it. But many Christians, and especially in central or eastern part of Europe, but I'm pretty sure it's similar everywhere, probably in other parts of the world too, they would just say, you just don't go into these bad areas of life, because they will change you. You will not be able to change them. And politics is for sure such area of life. Now Kuyper would say, you don't believe in sovereignty of the Lord. If He is sovereign, and this is the part of our human reality then he certainly is calling someone in his sovereignty to subdue this part of our reality to him.